Greeting you here. This is the last teaching video in lesson 10 of our course Masterclass in Project Management. We're going to look at a different way to calculate the slack or the float and the duration of the project. Slack or float can be calculated in an easier way. We've always done this by doing the forward pass, the backward pass, and then creating the slack or the float. Now, the disadvantage of this method is that we don't have the start and finish times of the activities as such. So that's something that we must understand. On the other hand, it can sometimes be quite interesting to have a quick calculation of the slack or the float. Let's review the PERT diagram, the precedence diagram like we made them before, and then we look at the different paths through the network, which we also determined before. We then find the activities on the critical path, and we find the slack of the remaining activities. First of all, remember the PERT diagram that we created in one of the previous videos. This is the PERT diagram. We use this to calculate the early start, late start, and so on. We also have the precedence diagram that we calculated before, or that we have drawn before, and we used it to calculate the early start, early finish, late start, late finish, and the slack of the activities, and also identify the critical path. The next thing is about identifying the paths through the network. Remember that we found the critical path that was given by the sequence BEHJ, which also means that there is no flexibility, there is a slack equal to 0. The other paths that we have are ACGJ, which is 11, ADHJ with the duration of 10, we have the path AEHJ with the duration of 13, and we have the path BFHJ equal to 12. The activities that are not on the critical path are the activities ACDF, and we have to find the slack from these activities. Let's start with activity A. So we have basically the different paths and the activities in red. Those are on the critical path, which means that their slack is equal to 0. Looking at the other paths, we can identify the paths in which we find activity A. So we have A in ACGJ, ADHJ, and AEHJ. So we have those different paths here, and now we have to consider how to find the slack of activity A. We have three possibilities, and we find the activity in those three paths, and we have to find out which is the path that we are going to use. Now, in this case, we take the path with the highest duration, and we subtract the duration, or we subtract it from the duration from the critical path. So the slack of A is equal to 15 minus 13, which is equal to 2. We do the same now for the activity C. The activity C is only in one path, so we have the duration of 11. 15 minus 11 is 4, so the slack of activity C is 4. We do the same for the activity G, and it's also only in one path, so it's quite easy, and the slack is here also equal to 4. For the activity D, only in the path ADHJ with the duration of 10, so we can say that the slack here is 15 minus 10, which is equal to 5. And the last activity, activity F, is only in the path BFHJ with a duration of 12, which leads to a slack of 15 minus 12, which is 13. So that's the last element in this chapter, the last learning video in chapter or lesson 10. That's it for this video. Also, we're at the end of this lesson. You're doing a great job. Just the last video where I will have a quick overview of what we have done in this chapter, in this lesson. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video and in the next lessons. Bye-bye.